You are watching Fan Facts.
Hey everybody, I'm Damien.
I'm Phil.
And this is Fan Facts, Week 10. Fan fact number 1. Kenny, not Canada, is the problem.
You know, it's going to piss the entire city of Pittsburgh
That's
off
fine.
when I say this, Damien.
Go for it.
Absolutely, Kenny is the problem.
Sorry, Pittsburgh.
Yeah, sorry. Where's the brilliance? What do I see? I see great fourth quarter throws.
Yeah.
I see 3 quarters of complete and total ineptitude before that. And we're partially getting lucky with our opponents, but at the same time, you know, this guy, for as much as this guy is talked about in the city of Pittsburgh, he needs to be Trevor Lawrence. He needs to be Lamar Jackson. He needs to be Patty Mahomes. He ain't that. And we've seen a full season now, and he's not. He's just not. He's not growing. He's not developing. You're not seeing the guy get past, oh, well, you know, I'm just going to mosey my way through 3 quarters, then all of a sudden make a great play in the fourth. It's not. He's not it. He's not it. I think you have something to say about that.
Yeah, I do. I'm going to disagree, and I'll tell you why. It's not Kenny. It's not Canada. It's Khan. Khan! Omar Khan, and I'll tell you why. He knows that Kenny isn't the answer. He knows that Canada isn't the answer. But he's going to let this play out. And the reason he's going to let this play out, because after he fires Canada this season, he's going to bring in a new coordinator for Kenny. Kenny's still going to struggle. They're going to draft a new quarterback. Why are they going to draft a new quarterback? Because Khan wants to leave his imprint on the Steelers. Khan wants to draft his Big Ben. He wants to draft his legacy. And we see Pickett as Colbert's legacy. So I say, and this is, thinking a little bit outside the box, and it might also make Pittsburgh angry, but it makes me pretty happy to think that I thought that it's not Canada, it's not Pickett, it's Khan. So look for a new quarterback after next season.
Don't be surprised if Khan trades up to get a quarterback in this upcoming draft.
Draft. Wow.
Because this draft is loaded.
Yeah, so that's my thought on it. Fan fact number 2. Pickens is the next AB.
He already is. I mean, not he is, like, it's clear. And this has been a staple of the Mike Tomlin era, by the way. Every receiver we get, the TikToks with Juju, the drama with AB. Now, granted, AB was a complete and total head case. I'll give you that. But we're seeing the same things with Pickens, man. Like, when do you rein this guy in, or when do you just cut your losses? First of all, George Pickens, I got a message for you, pal. Don't unfollow all of your wide receivers, and also make sure you continue to get 2 toes down, because that is what you freaking fail at.
George Pickens, if you're watching, thank you so much. Please like and subscribe. Look, is Pickens the next AP? I am going to agree. I'm going to agree, actually. Yes, of course he's talented. But this week we're not talking about his talent, unfortunately. We're talking about his attitude. And even when they drafted him, one of the cons of drafting him, and one of the reasons other teams stayed away from him, is because he was prone to show his emotions on the field and get agitated when not active enough.
And George, listen, I'm a competitor too, man. I show my emotions all the time. The difference is 5 minutes later, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I could have done something better. I don't sit there and hold it in and get mad at everybody else.
That's right.
Because I messed up.
And also, George, if you're watching, thank you so much. Please like and subscribe. Maybe tell some other Steelers. Maybe tell some other receivers that you've begun to follow again. We really appreciate this.
The villain's back, baby.
Number 3. Fan fact number 3. Sideline Canada does not sideline Canada.
Because Matt Canada is starting to call competent games. Notice I said competent. I didn't say good. I said competent.
Yeah.
They're getting there.
Yeah.
You're kind of blind if you continue to blame Matt Canada that the offense is not starting to look something resembling a pro offense.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to agree with this. It's starting to make sense that, like, one of the issues was that the Steelers couldn't execute. Because, you know, this week, Sideline Canada had looked to me a fuller playbook. I saw motion in the backfield. I saw play actions that were working. And I saw passes that would have worked thanks to our number 1 draft pick, Jones, playing right tackle this week, doing a great job in pass protect. It would have worked if Pickett could have hit his receivers. So I will agree that Sideline Canada does not Sideline Canada. You saw the other players, you saw the players being able to react to him in real time. I thought he called a much more competent game, like you said, Phil. Was it the best game I've ever seen? No. Was it his best game? I would say it was. I was entertained.
What was the other thing because of Broderick Jones that got going?
Oh, the run game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Najee Harris and Jalen
Yes,
Warren.
the 1-2 punch.
Blowing him up. Loved it.
Yeah, so that was great. So thank you, Sideline Canada. Please come back. Also, if you're watching, would you like and subscribe and tell some other coordinators? Thank you so much.
Would you please stay on the sideline because it seems like you actually know what you're doing
Yeah,
down there.
Great down there. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Matt
stay there.
Canada.
Stay there
on the sideline. Fan fact number 4. Even after this week's win, we have yet to see from the Pittsburgh Steelers franchise a sustainable brand of football going forward.
We haven't.
Yeah.
All we're seeing is gritting out wins against teams that normally we would blow out.
Yeah.
And when we play good teams like the Jags, like the Niners, and I'll say it, even the Texans, we get blown out. We get blown. It's not a sustainable way because once we're figured out, we're done. Now, when we're playing teams like the Titans or teams that are struggling themselves, oh yeah, sure, yeah, we'll capitalize on their mistakes. But when it comes down, when it gets to play out, when it gets to January, that second week in January, we got to go to Baltimore, which is my prediction, by the way. What's going to happen when Lamar finally shows up, who's having a tremendous season? What's going to happen if we got to go to a certain place I don't like right now called Kansas City, and we got to play those terrorists? All right,
Yeah, what happened? Also, Kansas City, if you're watching, thank you so much. Please like and subscribe, and maybe tell all of your friends and family, like Taylor Swift, about the show. I will agree, even after this win, this is not sustainable football. The Steelers are doing this Steeler thing, which is like win by any means necessary, but that, unfortunately, is not going to take you far, especially as Phil's saying, if we have to go into Baltimore, face Lamar Jackson. Lamar, if you're watching, please like and subscribe. So, yeah, it's not sustainable. Up until this week, I didn't even find it to be very much fun, but after this week, I can say this at least. Whether it's sustainable or not, I enjoyed watching the game, finally. Not just the defense, I enjoyed watching the offense. So, even if it's not sustainable, it's at least entertaining. And as a fan, I was happy with that.
I think I've gotten to a point, especially in these last couple of years with, now that it's completely Mike Tomlin's team, I know what to expect. I don't get upset one way or the other. I have my thoughts, but we know what we're going to get, we know what we are, and it's just not going to change until certain changes are made with the teams.
Right, like Canada and Pickett both gone.
Tomlin.
That being said, you know who I can never really figure out? Donnie Blahnox.
Yeah, me neither.
I can never figure out what he's going to say, so Donnie, what do you got for us this week on Mark It Down?
Mark it down.
Thanks, Damien and Phil. What a rousing introduction. I'm Donnie Blahnox, and this is Mark It Down. Sponsored by Steelers Nation West and the Incline of Pittsburgh. The Incline, for when your family's in town and you gotta show them somewhere nice so that they don't think Pittsburgh is as ugly and disgusting as everybody keeps saying. Take the Incline from Station Square up to Mount Washington and you'll experience breathtaking views before heading back down 15 minutes later because none of the restaurants looked really good and they're way overpriced and you couldn't find nothing to eat on the menu, so you kind of just end up at the Pope Room of Buca di Beppo sharing an eggplant parmesan between the four of yous, and it fills you right up. What is picante? To me, it's a portmanteau I tried to get started between George Pickens and Deontay Johnson. And the Steelers have a very strong Mexican fan base. Well, picar is the Spanish word for to sting, which is where that word comes from. And sometimes George Pickens will sting you like a pebble in your shoe, as Mike Tomlin said. Last week he threw a hissy fit because he didn't get enough attention on the field for some reason. And even though we won, he decided to go onto social media and change his relationship status with the Pittsburgh Steelers to "it's complicated." Unfortunately for George Pickens, Kenny doesn't like to take shots down the field in the first 3 quarters and often checks it down to his tight ends and running backs. And that's why my money this week is on Najee Harris over 2.5 catches. Mark it down. Every game the Steelers have played this year has been an under, except for the game where the linebackers scored more points than the offense. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that trend continues, and I'm taking under 37.5 for the game. Mark it down. The Jay Giles Band once wrote, "Love stinks." And never was those words more true than the 2023 NFL season. Because the Packers, when they drafted him, they thought they were getting Love, named after the most important thing in the universe, the reason we're all here, and what can save us in the end. But in fact, they got Love, named after the tennis score. So you can count on Aaron Jones to have over 20 carries. Mark it down. Expect an ugly game from both offenses. The Steelers will wait until the fourth quarter to start playing once again, and down 7, they'll drive the ball on the final drive of the game and get into the end zone to make it 16-17. Unfortunately, they'll go for 2 and throw it to crybaby George Pickens, who will drop the ball and teach us all a lesson about letting go of our egos, which is definitely what love can teach us all. Mark it down. Packers 17, Steelers 16.